Okay, so what I've done so far is I've shown you some factoring techniques that we've used to kind of understand factoring when we have an absolute value of a is greater than 1. And those techniques are great, especially when you're learning how to factor, but they are a little bit timely, right? They do kind of take some time to kind of work through. So the next method I'm just going to kind of show you is kind of like what we call our guess and check method, all right? And our guess and check method is nice, especially once you have kind of factoring down pat. You can start working with some solutions. So in this case, I want to be able to factor this, right? So first of all, we're going to solve by factoring. So I'll set this equal to 0. But I want to be able to find my factored forms. And when doing this, I'm going to kind of break this up into two numbers. I'm going to have 5, and I'm going to have 3. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to find the factors for each one of these. So the only two factors for 5 is 5 and 1. And the only two factors for 3 are going to be 3 and 1. So therefore, I know when I'm factoring this, I have to have a 5x times an x. It doesn't matter which factor they go through. And then this has to be either a 3 and a 1, or it has to be a 5x times 1 times x, 3. It has to be one or the other. There's only possibilities 1 and 3 and 3 and 1. Now the next thing I just need to do is determine, am I going to be adding or subtracting these when I'm multiplying? Well, since I notice here, I could do, it could be a 3 times 1, it could be positive, or it also could be negative, right? Because a negative 3 times a negative 1 also gives us a positive 3. But then we look at our middle term, and since our middle term, again, is positive, we know that all values have to be positive. So what I'll do is I'll just put a positive 1 into both one of these. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of do a little bit of FOIL in my head to determine which one of these is going to give me my value of 8. Because notice, both of these first terms gives us 5x squared, and both of my second terms give us 3. So now we just need to determine which one of these values is going to multiply to give me a middle term of 8x. And what we need to do with that to determine, I'm going to have to multiply and add our outside and inner terms. So when we do this one, 5 times x, 5x times 3 is 15x, plus 1x is 16x. Well, that's not my middle term. 3 times x plus 5 times 1 is 5x. That gives me 8x. So therefore, this is now my factored form. So now that I've had that factored form, now what I can simply do is just set this equal to 0 by using my zero product property. And then I can solve. So I have x equals negative 3/5, and x equals negative 1. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you solve your quadratic, by doing a little factoring in your head. It's good for you. Thanks.